So today I'm working on knitting another chunky blanket. This one's a little different. It's a tan color, but it's just a basic stockinette stitch. And this is looser. I'm using a smaller gauge of yarn. And I'm using, I believe they're 25mm needles. There's no marking on them though. The yarn I'm using is Bernat Blanket Extra. It's a size jumbo, it's 7, and it's 100% polyester. This blanket's for my little sister. She saw me making my white fluffy one and she told me she wanted one. It looks like I'm on a knit row. Today felt like a really autumnal day. It felt very fall-like. It's middle of August, so it's really abnormal, but it's been cloudy. It's looked like it's gonna rain, but it never rained. So it felt like a really good day to decompress and light some candles and just make a little video, because making the last video really helped me relax and just be present, and it felt really good, and I'm glad to see that at least some people enjoy it. So it's definitely something I'm going to continue. It won't always be blankets though. I just got off work about 2 hours ago and I felt like I needed to knit and make a video. I work at a pharmacy, and with COVID and restrictions and just all of the craziness, it's been really stressful. And I also have fibromyalgia, so normal life is stressful and difficult, but it's just been amplified lately. So I really love doing something that's enjoyable and relaxing. Even, you might ask, like, how can I knit if I have fibromyalgia? And it hurts, but most things hurt. So I've found that with my life, I've had to really just do the things that are worth it, things that I really enjoy, things that make me happy. And it's my 2 years that I've been dealing with it hasn't been fun, but it's definitely taught me a lot about my priorities and just giving myself time and giving myself grace. Just slowing down. Slowing down is big, and realizing that I can't do everything. So I really just need to do the things that matter. And that there's always going to be pain. But even with, there's physical pain, but life's full of pain, and I think a big part of life is learning how to have a healthy response to pain. So, even though fibromyalgia really sucks, it's helped my personal growth. There are days I just sit down and cry, but today's a good day. Another thing that really helps it just helps calm me and helps ground me, I suppose is a good word, is candlelight. I've always loved candlelight. Christmas Eve church services are always my favorite because of candlelight. Christmas time, I love lights. I love city lights. I love Christmas lights, but candles are they make me feel warm and just cozy and happy. I'm one of those people that lights candles in summer, as you can see. I'm also drinking hot chocolate because I just needed it, I really like this yarn because it's very soft, and if you've knit or crocheted or done anything with yarn, you know that the cheaper yarns, they're great because you can afford them easily, but they rub the fingers so badly. So this is a pleasant blanket. What's great about this being polyester is she'll be able to machine wash it. Since it's such a loose knit, if it's machine washed, you'll have to be careful with it, but sometimes it's nice to be able to clean something easily. There we go. One row completed. Now we're on a purl row. I'm hoping to finish this skein tonight. We'll see how much my hands allow. They're feeling pretty good. I found that I am so clumsy when it comes to knitting with these big needles. I just feel like I have no control. But these are smaller than the ones I used in my last video, so it's less strain on my wrists, which is great. Like my other blanket, I did buy this yarn on sale from Joann's. It was originally marked on clearance for $5.97, but I think I paid about $3 because clearance was on sale. And so I bought 4 big balls of it, and yeah, so this is gonna be a $12 blanket for my sister. I honestly am really excited for fall and winter. Fall is my favorite time of the year. I always love winter, but in addition to fibromyalgia, I have a idiopathic condition, cold-induced urticaria. So when I get colds, and that term cold is relative, it always changes, but when I get cold, I break out in hives, and they're humongous hives all over my body, usually on my torso, legs, and arms, but I've had them form on the bottom of my feet, between my toes, my fingers. It's awful. I've even had it affect my breathing. It felt like my throat was closing up, and so I love winter, and normally I love the cold, but since that started happening, I prefer to be warm so that I don't have to deal with that. It's frustrating. I don't have it that bad, because I've read some forums where people say that they can't even touch like a cold glass of water. They can't drink like anything cold, or else they break out in hives in their throat and mouth. They can't touch anything cold, and so I don't have it that severe, but usually if the temperature outside is between 30 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I'll start breaking out. What's also kind of annoying is it's highly variable. Some days I'll be fine. I'll be fine for a week sometimes, and then something will happen, and I've got them. So I try. Normally, if I get the hives and it's really bad, I can take a Benadryl and I'll be fine. They'll go away within the hour, but I don't know about anyone else, but Benadryls just make me so groggy that I try to avoid it if I can. But other than that, I love winter. I love the coziness, the holidays, winter's when I'm able to do a lot more of this work, this knitting, crocheting, because I usually give a lot of things I make away as gifts. I don't know, I love making things for other people because, I don't know, the joy for me most of the time is making the item or the toy, the piece of clothing, and then seeing how happy they are when they have them, when they receive them. It makes me happy. So I usually make a lot of crocheted, knit, sewn things. I do buy presents, but the overwhelming majority are handmade items. The first knit item I made as a gift for someone, well, I should say the second. The first was a pair of really poorly fitting socks that I gave to my mom. But she loves them, so it's important. But the second one, my first decent knit gift was a Weasley sweater, as in Harry Potter, the sweater with the first letter of the person's first name on it. I hand knit one for my friend Amanda, and it was navy blue sweater with an A on it, a gold A, and she loved it, and it was just, I had such a fun time making it for her, and just seeing how happy she was when she opened, well, I wasn't there when she opened it, but when she told me about how happy she was, it was worth it. There's also something really nice about just taking part in a craft that, so many people have done in the past, just making textiles, hand making stuff. I don't know how realistic or attainable it is for me, but I think it would be so fun to have a spinning wheel, to buy one or find one at a yard sale or something, or a secondhand, and either it would be a lot of work to have a sheep and shear it, but buy some roving wool and process it and make yarn. I think that would be a really fun thing to do. A lot of work, but I don't know, it sounds fun. Sounds like a fun thing to do. It does take a lot of skill, but I don't know, I think I could do it. Round 2 is done. Or the second round since we started, I should say. I've been working on this on and off for some time. I have a problem where I start something and then I get distracted by another project. I do it with, knitting, crocheting, I do it with sewing, I do it with books. I'll start reading a book and then I'll get into it and then I see another book and I think, ooh, I want to read that. Or I have multiple books. One's a book to read before bed because it puts me to sleep, and then one is something I just want to read. So I'll be reading maybe 4 books at one time. And sometimes I'm that way with knitting and crocheting and sewing. I have some things I need to finish. I've been working on my sewing skills. Sometimes I tend to be it's hard to say a perfectionist, but my manifestation of it is I want to do it perfectly, and when I just don't seem to be able to do it, I get really frustrated, and I have to take a break, and I have to keep up with it. I think that's normal, though. I think most people are uncomfortable with failing or not being good at something that you really want to be good at. But anybody who's become very skilled at something knows that it takes a lot of practice. I initially started crocheting when I was probably 12 or 13. It's a vivid memory because my grandma was in the hospital and they weren't sure she was gonna live. She did, but it was uncertain. And my family was there. We were all in the family waiting room. It was late at night, and my cousin, who is probably 15 years older than me, we had to she decided to take me to the store just for something to do because we were just hurry-upping and waiting. just being there. So we went to the store and she asked me if I knew how to crochet, and I said no, I don't, but it sounds really fun. And so she bought a skein of Red Heart yarn. It was maroon, and a J hook, one of the gold ones that I'm sure everybody has. And we went back into the waiting room, and she taught me how to crochet. So that was really special. I would have loved to learn from my grandma, but she was, at the time I was old enough, she was pretty sick, and I don't think was really interested. She was also very stubborn, so I'm not sure she'd have enjoyed teaching me. My cousin was probably the best person to teach me, but so I was trying to make a scarf with that maroon yarn that she made me, and it wasn't that good. It wasn't good at all. But from there, I saw that it wasn't good, and I really wanted to make something good. So, what I did, as any, what am I? Am I a millennial? Any, end of the road millennial would do is I looked at YouTube. And so I found that YouTube really can teach you anything. So I perfected my skills from people just making videos on the basics of crocheting, and then from there I learned how to knit, and I completely learned from YouTube. Nobody in my family knits. I know of people personally that knit, but not well enough. More like acquaintances. So knitting was really cool just because that was something I wanted to learn, so I taught myself with the help of YouTube, and let me tell you, it looks simple, and it is simple, but unless you've mastered that hand-eye coordination and just those muscles, it's really difficult at first. It's kind of like tennis. I played tennis in high school, and my first few practices, tennis was awful. The ball would go all over the place, and I'd swing and make absolutely no contact. But you put in the time, you put in the effort, and then something just clicks, and suddenly you can do it, and suddenly you're good. So I really love that. I think to an extent the desire for perfection, it can be unhealthy because it can lead to procrastination or just really a lot of frustration, but I like it because it pushes me, it drives me. I want to do it the way I want to do it, so I won't give up on it. And I think that's good. I hope it's good. I don't know. Sometimes it is easy to want to quit, though. I totally have been there many times. Especially with my health problems. I've been in school the entire time that I began having health problems, and it's been really hard, and I feel like that's an understatement. And it's also, I think, something that only people who've had that experience can understand just how hard it is, because I've had people who empathize, but they just don't know, and that can be really hard. What's really helped me emotionally, just looking for, I guess, camaraderie in my experiences, and just validation that what I'm feeling isn't all in my head, has been like forums, like Reddit. My boyfriend loves Reddit. I never really understood it, but I made an account and I joined some accounts relating to like fibromyalgia, chronic illnesses, and just groups of people that just kind of understand where I'm at and what I'm dealing with. Also YouTube videos, but and it's really helpful. It's really great because I don't know. I've Googled things like how to survive college with fibromyalgia and stuff like that, and just like I don't know what to I'm in a really hard spot. Google help me. And the top response said, from this, I don't even know what it was, some sort of blog post, but they said, try taking one class at a time. I don't know, I was already 4 years into my degree, and I wanted to laugh and I wanted to cry because that person just didn't understand the pressures of life. Like how far I have to go, what I have to do. So I think Reddit's been really helpful with that. And not to like wallow in, the miseries of life, but sometimes it can just be helpful to just know, not that you're happy someone else is going through what you're going through, but just to know that you're not alone and you're not the only person dealing with this. That's great. It's really comforting. And I think that goes for a lot of things. I think I'll have maybe one more row after this left in this game. This blanket's probably going to be more of a throw blanket, but I know that's what she'd prefer. My little sister's really into decorating and just redesigning her room. She has to rearrange her room literally every 2 weeks. And it's kind of ridiculous, but she loves it, so that's what matters. And this will be perfect for fall for her. When using these chunkier yarn, I do like to make it, the blanket, a little looser because they already trap in heat enough. So it's nice to have those little vents for the hot air. I suppose if you're in a situation where you really need something warm, by all means make it dense. But for throw blankets, I think it's really nice to have something loose that's not gonna make you just sweat like crazy. Since this video seems to be about me talking about my fibromyalgia struggles, so for most of quarantine, I've had this like major achiness in my teeth, and it's been like in all of my molars, and it had been about 2 years since I saw the dentist, and I thought, oh no, I have a million cavities. Like, this is so bad. And so I finally had a dentist appointment, like a week ago or so. And I did the x-rays, the cleaning, the hygienist was telling me that, since it's been 2 years, it's likely I had major, like, tartar buildup and plaque and just everything. And he got in my mouth and he said, like, wow, your teeth are great. said, oh, really? And the dentist came out and he said, yeah, your teeth are perfect. And so he said that it's likely I'm like clenching my jaw. And it's not something I've ever had growing up, or really, except since about quarantine. So I don't know. I don't know what's been going on, because at the end of the day, it feels my teeth are so sore. It feels like I just had like braces put on or something. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm actually clenching my teeth throughout the day, or if the muscles, my jaw muscles, are really tight. So when I close my mouth, I don't know. So I bought a mouth guard, like a sleeping mouth guard. Hopefully, it'll work for me. It's just, whenever I have something really weird happen that's not normal, like before 2 years ago wasn't normal, and it just keeps reoccurring, I usually Google the symptom I'm having in fibromyalgia, and what do you know, it's a fibromyalgia symptom. And it's starting to become funny to me, because I just did some like light research, and it looks like it's not uncommon to have tooth pain and jaw tenderness with fibromyalgia patients. The most alarming one for me was, for a solid probably 4 months, I was having really bad chest pains, and I was starting to get concerned, because I'm only in my mid-20s. I shouldn't be having chest pains. I shouldn't have fibromyalgia, but here we are. And just major chest pain. And then I finally looked it up, is chest pain normal with fibromyalgia? And I guess it is. It's like my sternum. I guess it's normal for the sternum to have inflammation. Breastbone. Which made sense, because it's not like my heart is hurting. It's more just my chest. And the ribs can be inflamed with the linings around those areas. I'm not sure. But yeah, just keeps getting better. Makes me feel like a hypochondriac, because it's like another thing. Is it all in my head? What's going on? But it's definitely happening. You're back to a knit row. I mentioned it in my last video, but this candle is just one of my favorites. Pumpkin pecan waffles. I'm sure everyone will agree that the Bath & Body Works fall scented candles are the best. And I saw that they have them online, and their 3-wick candles are on sale for $11.95, something pretty much half off. How much did this cost? Yeah, this candle was $14.50, so I definitely thought about buying one, but I abstained because I have a candle problem. I have so many candles, and I really need to use them before I buy any more. I'm that way with yarn, I'm that way with so many things. If I love it, I'll buy 3. I have been making a rule, whether it's out of financial necessity or just trying to minimize my collection, but I have not been buying yarn unless it's for a specific project, but I haven't been buying it unless it's on a major sale. So the yarn from the last video, this yarn, they were all on major sales. I think, you know, for this blanket is about $12. Well, one of these skeins is normally $10, so it's justifiable to me. But there's actually one time at Walmart, they had this cart in the middle of an aisle full of yarn, and it was all on clearance, and it was really usable yarn. And like, to me, usable yarn is more neutral colors, so like gray, like a deep red, white, silver, colors that I could make sweaters out of, because I like more gray sweaters. And they had so many, such like a huge number of like skeins that were the same, so there were multiples of each color, and each skein was like 25 cents. And it was like, it was, you know, it was yarn that was usually about $4 each, so I didn't have any projects in mind, but I saw those and I took most of them, and I probably only spent like $10. And I what would that have been? Some were a little over 25 cents, but all of them were under $1 each, and so I think I left with about 25 or 30 skeins of yarn. So that's what I've been doing. I also kind of get a thrill when I'm able to get yarn that I will use, yarn that I normally look for, and save so much money. I love it. In order to find those types of sales, I usually Joann's Fabric will have some pretty good sales. I'm not sure if it was because of quarantine or not, but they had an amazing sale. I might maybe next month go back and see if they have another one, but yeah, it was very affordable. I also love looking at yard sales for fabric and yarn. Sometimes the people that own the yarn aren't very clean, so just pass up on that. But you know, there'll be yarn that somebody bought but just didn't use, and you can usually get it for next to nothing, so that's really great. I just one of my family's friends' parents passed away, and they were having an estate sale, and she was a crafter as well as a hoarder, which normally is a nightmare for them, but for me, oh my gosh, it was heaven. I bought so much. I bought a box full of fabric, and I didn't buy any yarn. I was tempted, but the yarn wasn't that great. I bought some fabric scissors that were pretty decent. Some, I don't even remember what else I bought. Oh, zippers. I bought a bunch of like white, gray, black zippers because, you know, even though they're not like crazy expensive, you know, I think on average the zipper's probably like $5, but I paid $5 for a whole box, like a big moving box of everything. So, you know, that was like a steal. They were just giving it away. I'm sure if I bought that at a store, it would have easily been over $100 worth of fabric and zippers and all of that. Easily. So yeah, for me, just being like money smart with it is big. My plan for the fabric I bought is to make aprons. I bought some cute little calicos and one that's more of a cotton or polyester cotton. It's a little stretchier. It's white with navy blue pinstripes. It's really cute. So I have 2 calico prints and that, and I might make some shirts or something. We'll see. But aprons. I want to make aprons. But right now, I have to finish making some kimonos, or I should say Americanized fashion kimonos, not real ones, but cover-ups. Cover-ups is a good word. They're so easy. I just, my iron broke, so I got a new iron. So I really should, now that I have an iron, I have no excuse to not get on to finishing my kimonos, but right now I'm knitting a blanket. I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog is at my door crying. She's very vocal about what she wants. We're almost at the end. So what did I do? I think I did 4 or 5 rows. It's getting there. I actually have about a row left of yarn, but I think I'm gonna call it a night. Between my crying dog and my aching back. My hands are feeling great. My back's getting tired. So I hope you have a great night, and thank you for watching.